any videos today, but I've been every month I do an audio segment for a podcast that's called The Right Move podcast, and check it out if you haven't seen it. Every month I do a segment for them called Charlie Says, and this month they need it by today. Today was a day I was hoping to not have to do any work. As you can tell, I'm out doing other stuff today. Forgive me, there will be background noise and wind noise, but it's this or nothing. The question I've been asked to answer today is, what do I think about the BBC's investigation, which they did on the BBC Morning Show? And I've linked to that video below. It's a 7-minute segment. What do I think about PurpleBricks as an estate agency offering? And while I'm live streaming this, I'm also simultaneously recording the audio, which the podcast guys are going to have to edit for their clip. And they know, I mean, this has triggered me. Since I got the request 2 days ago, I've been thinking how they say I've got 3 minutes to do it. I can't do it in 3 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have to edit it down. There's no way I can do this in 3 minutes. I will do my best, though. So, there was a story on The Negotiator, which is an estate agency news website, about the story on the BBC, which is just from a week ago or so, where they had 2 PurpleBricks customers who were expressing their dissatisfaction, shall we say. And if you are a seller considering using PurpleBricks, I urge you to watch that. It is linked to below in the description under this video. It's a 7-minute video. Please watch it. It is a really good explainer of why you shouldn't go near any agent that says that they're going to either sell your house for free or sell it for a really cheap fixed fee up front, which you pay whether they sell it or not, okay? And that's the first thing that PurpleBricks, let me just say this, right? If you were to take everything that is wrong with estate agency as an industry, and you were to distill it down and condense it and concentrate it into something, then it's like PurpleBricks is the espresso, the double espresso of everything that is wrong with estate agency. When they first came out, I was a very, very vocal campaigner against them because, in my view, they were not only ripping people off, they actually had to go onto Watchdog and apologize for tricking consumers into signing credit consumer agreements without realizing that's what they were doing. I made a complaint to the Advertising Standards Authority about their TV ad that got upheld. They had to change it. And the reason that PurpleBricks and similar offerings boil my blood is because they trick uninitiated people into, at best, just losing some money, and at worst, failing to sell their home when they need to sell. It is true harm. And if enough PurpleBricks customers wanted to get together and pursue a class action, well, you can't anymore because they went out of business and got sold for £1. Now, I want to just give the background on this. So why were they so famous? Why did they do so well? And in a nutshell, it's because the founders, the Bruce brothers, Kenny and Michael Bruce brothers, I don't know these guys personally, and I do not have anything personal against them, and I'm sure they're nice people, and I'm sure they're good dads and families. One of them's got an OBE, for goodness sake, so I'm not making any personal comment, but whether they did this intentionally or whether they did it unintentionally makes no difference if you're someone who has suffered. And by the way, they had a class action of 400 of their self-employed staff against them, which was being upheld until they went out of business and got sold for £1 to Strike, who basically bought the name for £1. And these 2 characters are just like Del and Rodney to me. Likeable, charming, nice brothers, 2 very different characters who think it's okay to rip people off a little bit. You watch Only Fools and Horses and you see the lovable characters, Del and Rodney, but they do not mind flogging stuff that is worth anything to make a living, right? That is, and How can they have got it so wrong? And why am I saying this is everything that's wrong with the estate agency? Well, because you can roughly, I mean, there are very roughly two types of estate agents. Agents who want to make a living helping people move home, and agents who think, well, this is an easy and don't really know as long as they make money. And the Bruce brothers were definitely in the latter category, because one of them was an estate agent and one of them was a lawyer. I mean, that just sounds like a great recipe, doesn't it, to start with? An agent and a lawyer who think, oh, we know, real estate agency is too much like hard work. Why don't we set something where they pay us up front, whether we sell or not? And then we'll get whatever mugs we can find to come and work for nothing, commission only, freelancers who have to drive around at their own expense, pay for their own petrol, but get paid on signing up a new instruction. So therefore they're going to be overvaluing because they get paid whether they sell or not. And then they listed on the stock market, and hedge fund manager Neil Woodford, everyone went, oh, well, if he's on board, I think that's his name, if he's on board with it, it must be brilliant. And everyone who misunderstands the estate agency piled into PurpleBricks shares, giving it a valuation at one point of £1 billion was its market cap, when it still hadn't made any profit. By the way, let me show you a picture of these characters so you know who we're talking about, right? This is for PR purposes. There you go. Is that on screen? I think it is, yeah. There you are. That's Mikey and Kenny Bruce. And they did their shorts when they tried to launch PurpleBricks in the US on the back of all the fun made from listing, and that just collapsed, totally collapsed. Anyway, those guys no longer run it. They no longer own it. They were eventually fired by investors and directors and shareholders who went, no, you boys are not the right people to be running this. And they then basically put in person after person after person with retail online experience, as it just tanked down under multiple lawsuits from its staff. It was breaking the law in lettings as well. One of the problems I had with Property Mart was the fact that they never actually challenged PurpleBricks over its blatant breaching of regulations. They were in breach of honestly, they were in breach of the Consumer Protection Regulations Act. And if anyone who had been harmed by them had bothered to bring a case and they'd been found guilty, that's potential prison time. This is how bad PurpleBricks was. In its current incarnation, none of those guys are still there. They're now just basically a mortgage lead thing where sell your house for free, sell your house for free. But immediately you think, oh, brilliant. Okay, they're going to put it on Rightmove, right? Oh, no, if you want it on Rightmove, you'll have to pay us £399 up front, whether we sell or not. And if you want viewings, and before you know it, you've paid them £1,000 up front. That money. So anyone who thinks that PurpleBricks and similar viable businesses do not understand estate agency. And I'm someone who initially got into this industry back in the late 90s trying to do the same thing, because I got estate agency wrong. I thought estate agents weren't necessary. I set up something called Property to Go. I mean, disastrous name I didn't come up with, but still a disastrous name. Thinking that estate agents were no longer necessary. But when you think to yourself that time after time after time, these things start up to try and cut out estate agents, everyone is free to not use estate agents. Nobody chooses an estate agent because they have to. And yet 95, and yet, especially, the other thing, right? It's only this market that PurpleBricks is good. Like, people who are wealthy, people who've got money, why would they choose to pay an estate agent tens of thousands of pounds to sell a house if it wasn't worth it, right? If it's done well, an estate agent's fee is cheap. Even a 2% fee, which is what it should be. If it's done well, if they get your house sold quickly at the best price the current market will get you for your home, they're worth every penny of that 2%. If they take 3 to 6 months to sell your house, which, here's a clue, when they sign you up to a long sole agency contract where you can't leave them for 6 months, is a clue that they're not expecting to sell your house, right? Jono, I'm sorry about the background noise. I'm afraid there was no way around that. But there's a clue that they're not going to sell your house quickly when they're trying to tie you into a long sole agency contract. PurpleBricks contributed to horrific overvaluing. PurpleBricks contributed to good agents not being able to charge what they should be and therefore not being able to afford to provide good service. There is and was nothing. There are no redeeming features whatsoever. Even if you are an experienced seller and think, I don't need an estate agent, as long as I get the advertising and I get the leads, I handle it myself. Can you sell with them? Yeah, you probably can. It's a lot of hassle. You'll be dealing with lots of buyers and viewings and all that kind of stuff. But even you guys who think you're good at it, right? If you don't have a pre-existing database of qualified buyers looking for your type of property, you are still less likely to get the price that a really good agent will get. By the way, guys, the sun's so bright, I can't really see what's happening on my screen. I don't know if any of you, I don't even know if you can hear me. Someone's asking about Best Agent Day. Yes, Best Agent Day, not silently. I have kept on saying this. Best Agent Day has been pushed back to September the 4th. When I first came out with it, the election hadn't been announced, and it became very, very clear that the election was going to be a massive disruption, as has the summer holiday. So Best Agent Day is now September the 4th. Okay, Wednesday, September the 4th. So to all of you watching this, thank you for watching. Please spread this and share it, and go and watch the BBC. Here's the BBC thing. It's called Morning Live. BBC One Morning Live. Hang on, where is it? There it is. Right, that's what it looks like. Link below to go and watch that. If you are a seller considering using PurpleBricks, first of all, don't. But secondly, if you're still considering doing it because you think you're going to save money on the fee, which you won't, go and watch that before you make a decision to go ahead with them. All right. Other than that, I have to apologize on camera to Simmons for the audio for their podcast, which are going to have lots of work now cutting that up to get it down to 3 minutes. But there was just no other way of doing this commentary, this rant, this description of PurpleBricks without being able to explain why it's terrible. It was started by people who don't understand, or the bad agents who think, oh, you just whack it on your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and money in the bank, right? Those are those who give the good estate agents, a bad reputation unfairly. PurpleBricks is literally the worst of all. And they were bullies. They threatened to sue me. I got this massive from Fulton Norbright, I think, with their solicitors. Big fish, I take back what I was saying about them. And I went, no, it's all true, and I can back it up, and it's opinion. And I mean, they did that to thousands of people. Everyone who criticized PurpleBrick, this is in its previous incarnation, got lawyers. They never sued anyone. It was classic bully boy. Just shut up or we'll sue you. Shut up or we'll sue you. And it worked. And they also, whenever they got bad reviews, they used to basically bribe people to take them down. I mean, the worst kind of con men when it comes to helping someone that needs to sell their house. I'm just going to stop that. Okay, so that's 13 minutes of audio. They've got to cut it down to 3 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. But for the rest of you, oh, good. I'm glad you could hear me. Just checking some yeah, don't skimp on your solicitor. And as a seller, let me just remind everybody that if you are serious about selling, you must be contract ready first, right? Go and choose your conveyancer very carefully. Be contract ready first. Secondly, you must choose your agent as though your future depends on it, because it does. Thirdly, you must, and a good agent will tell you this, and they'll help you get it right. You must price your asking price to ensure that it's so attractive it gets competing bidders, because once you have competing bidders, your asking price becomes irrelevant. They're no longer offering against the asking price, they're offering against each other, and your asking price goes out the window. Okay? Make sure your property is beautifully presented. Make sure You get amazing quality photographs and marketing prepared for it. Make sure you write the property description in such a way that it doesn't just repeat what's in the photographs, but it tells people what they can't see from the photographs or from any other searching on the internet. Tell them what it's like to live there, for example. But again, be guided by a really good agent on that. And don't delay if you need to sell. Don't delay. Any other questions related to this topic? I'm just looking for questions. GPs, if you trust your mortgage broker completely and it really feels like it's a genuine and sincere recommendation because they've worked with them and they know they get deals done, yes. If it's because your mortgage broker just makes a nice cut on the conveyancer, but the conveyancer isn't better than average, then no. So I can't help you with that. You've got to make that judgment call for yourself. They're required to tell you what referral money that they're making, if they are making any. So, ask them, is it just a panel one? Is it the only one you recommend, or do you recommend lots of them? Is it because, just, of course, they're always going to sound, when they want you to use a conveyancer because they get a kickback, they're always going to sound convincing. Only you can decide whether you really trust them or not. But if you have any hesitation about it, I would make sure that you at least go and talk to a couple of other conveyancers of your own choosing and judge them on simple things like, sorry, we've actually got parachutes coming down top of me. Judge them on things like how well they answer the phone, how quickly they call you back, how quickly you're put through to someone that can help you and answer your questions, because that's actually one of the most important things. I can hear him. See, right in the sun. They sometimes land right here. It'd be fun if they do. Sorry, guys, I'm getting distracted. I'm supposed to be having a hobby day today. And actually, it's always better, if possible, to choose your conveyancer first, I would say. It's a real minefield out there. All these companies that are trying to get you to choose them over the others are all very, very good at looking and sounding and feeling legit. You have to just disregard all of the conventional sounding stuff and try and find something that gives you a clue that actually, yeah, that really does, that's someone I really trust. And is it more time consuming to choose your conveyancer and your mortgage broker, by the way, your independent mortgage broker, your conveyancer, and your agent if you're a seller? These are life-changingly important decisions and choices. It's impossible for me to give you general advice on how to do it. You've got to just don't shortcut it, right? And don't ever think, oh, that sounds good enough, I'll go with those guys. Don't ever do that. Wait until you're absolutely convinced on all three of those things. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Paris Hilton on YouTube says, PurpleBricks can be scary as a sole female buyer. One seller harassed me for months after, and PurpleBricks did nothing. Doesn't surprise me. Okay, Strud81 on Twitch says, I am that rare beast. I used Strike and it went very well, but I'm savvy and the property was extremely desirable. Right, so that's what I mean. There are people, I mean, if you're a property developer, for example, and you really know what you're doing and you know you've got the property's desirable and you want to do the advertising for you and do the rest yourself, then yeah, then it can make sense. Yeah, so this is Night Hunter on YouTube saying, PurpleBricks is a nightmare. I offered on a property and had it accepted, and I was getting things sorted, only for my mortgage provider calling me and saying your offer hasn't been accepted. Yeah, it's. Yeah. Craig Wood asks a question: first-time buyer, house purchase fell through. Put an offer in on a property, and agent called me back and said he wouldn't put the offer forward as it would probably be rejected. Is that legal? No, that is not legal. Unless they've got it in writing, the only thing that makes it legal for an agent to reject your offer is it will be from the seller to automatically reject any offers below a certain amount. So you need to ask the agent and say, do you have it automatically reject anything below a certain amount? And if they say, yeah, can I see that, please? Because I want to be sure. And if in doubt, go and put your offer to the seller's letterbox. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to crack on with my day. Guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. All the best. But please make sure you send this video to anyone you know who's selling their home. Bye.